everyone and welcome to another Poppy Playtime theory video. Well, not so much a theory today, because today we're talking about a letter. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, something as a letter can be this exciting. So for those of you who don't know, there's a letter that's been sent out from Playtime to the community for Halloween, and the letter contains some really interesting information that we'll go through in this video. But of course, before we get to do that, let's do the usual YouTubey stuff, and if you do like Poppy Playtime, remember to hit subscribe and like, and if you want to help out that little extra more, if you go to the Poppy Playtime merch store or whatnot and use my code Itsjustjord, you can get 10% off your order. But anyway, shameless self-promotion out of the way, let's actually talk about the letter. Now, the letter itself is really intriguing. It's the beginning of an ARG, or it's so believed by all of us in the Creators Club. So I'm going to read this letter, and I'm going to give you what I think towards the end of the video, and some little interesting points, for instance, dates and stuff, and where they match in the actual world of Poppy Playtime and the games, for instance. So, of course, the letter reads, Playtime Co., July 15, 1991. Hello, Mama. I miss you so much. It's been so long since we've talked, and now more than ever, I wish we'd spoken more. I have some news you won't like to hear. I'm going away for a very long time, and I may never see you again. I don't want to do this to you, and I know how badly this will break your heart, but I don't have a choice. Something awful has happened. I want to tell you about it, but I can't. They have eyes and ears everywhere. For your own safety, do not come looking for me. Stay away from the factory. They can't know what you know. If they get to you, everything I've done will have been for nothing. I need you to get on my computer. Use this. 159.223.135.6. I had to bury everything. It might seem like it's not there, but it is. I know you can find it. Look deep. You are going to see things that will scare you, but you have to look. There are lives at risk. People will die. As soon as possible, take everything you find and go to the police. This needs to end. I love you, and I hope you can forgive me. Before we talk about the actual letter, let's take a look at some of the text behind the letter. As this text is a little bit harder to read, but let's take out the main parts of it. So we can see there is an agreement date on the letter, and that's 10/20/1986. So what is interesting about the 20th of October 1986? And well, it's the fact there isn't actually anything about it. The closest we get to that date in regards to any type of lore or whatnot is when Huggy Wuggy was created, and Huggy Wuggy was 2 years before, and obviously in turn that means Kissy Missy was 1 year before this letter. So in terms of toys, this letter would have been given out in between the Kissy Missy and the Boogie Bot era of toys, if you will. But this gives us an indication of what's going to be going on in the future. But there is a date on this letter that we'll come to a little bit later in the video that does collide with a character from Poppy Playtime and the year of their creation. But let's hold on to that thought for now. Behind the actual written letter, there holds a name called Rowan Stoll, and we can't make anything else other than that name. But given the context of the letter and how it is formatted, of course, because it's very company and policy and everything approach, this is a contract, an agreement between Playtime Co. and Rowan Stoll. So who is Rowan? I'm going to be doing a theory video specifically for Rowan Stoll, so if you want to see that video, just hit subscribe and you'll get notified when it does come out. But again, talking about the actual printed letter, this seems quite interesting in itself, because we know Rowan isn't a child, because it doesn't look like there needs to be any consensus from an adult to sign this contract and whatnot. So Rowan is definitely one of the workers in Playtime Co. And of course that's made evident by employee confidential agreement. But we then have to wonder about the handwritten letter over the top of it. So let's actually talk about the letter finally. So of course, let's first start with July 15th, 1991. Now 1991 is quite relevant because of the fact that this is when Mommy Longlegs first got her commercial trailer, as we recall from one of the very first VHS tapes of her advertisement shown. And of course that was in 1991. And because of that correlation, I believe that this letter was actually from an orphan child. Now, of course, we don't know the orphan's backstory, we don't know what's going on. All that we know is they can read, write, and send letters. And also, are very knowledgeable in using computers, as we can see at the bottom with the IP address 159.223.1356. But this will play an interesting role later because this is a part of an ARG. Currently, as it stands with this IP and the ARG, we've hit a dead end because nothing is actually live as of yet, and I think it will go live some point today, or obviously if you're watching this in the future, it would have been on the 31st of Halloween. But I think we might be jumping the gun here. I don't actually believe this letter might have anything specifically to do with the story or aspect side of the chapters. I think this might be more leaning towards something to do with Project Playtime. Now, if you don't know Project Playtime, and if you want me to do a video about it, I probably will anyway, but Project Playtime is the brand new announced co-op multiplayer horror game that Mob Games are doing. Obviously, of course, set in the Poppy Playtime world, but I think this might be more relevant towards that side of Poppy Playtime. But again, I'll be doing a video talking about Project Playtime anyway. But back to the letter itself, it's really intriguing how it's written because it seems like it's coming from a place of guilt, if you will. Is it guilt from running away from their mother? Or is it guilt for what they've had to go through and to survive, for instance? Again, this is why I think it's something to do with the actual Project Playtime. But I would love to hear what you think about it in the comments below because again, it's still open to interpretation. I'd love to hear your ideas about it. I think also, well, I'd like to theorise that when they talk about I had to bury everything, it might seem like it's not there, but it is. I feel like it's going to be classified documents as well as probably reports for every project like we see with Mommy Longlegs and the different type of test children they use, and they report on how they do and what circumstances they go through, and of course from what we've read already it's not pleasant. And again, we're beginning to see the fall of the orphan project that Playtime Co tried to pull off. This letter itself is probably the very beginning of the end for Playtime Co. And it's very evident from the second paragraph of how sour it's going within the company. As you can tell, they've got eyes and ears everywhere. They're obviously surveillancing very heavily for their own safety as well as the company's safety, because they are hiding lots of things down there. And of course, we know that now. But again, this letter is very daunting in a certain sense because you can feel the tone. It's desperation, it's last resort, you know, and they want to reveal that truth. So again, I'm really looking forward to some more hints that get dropped along the way. And of course, if I find anything, I will let you know immediately because, of course, there are going to be things that we're going to find. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this little video explaining the letter and what I first thought about it. Again, let me know what you think in the comments below, and of course we're going to be doing more videos coming in the future, covering all the things that we've talked about today in more depth and a more scripted format that we're more used to. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a lovely morning, day or night wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next Poppy Playtime theory video. Bye!